Hi, this is Lauren with Verivest, and today we are meeting with Billy Procida from Procida Funding and Advisors. We're super excited to speak with you today. Thank you so much for chatting.
Sure thing. Good morning.
Yeah.
Or,
So let's.
I don't know, or whenever you're watching this. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Right, exactly. So really, let's just hop right into it. I'd love to know kind of how you got where you are today, and just tell us a little bit about your origin story.
Well, at 58 years old and 40 years in the business, that could take an awfully long time.
Right.
I'll try to do a version that's at least as short as possible. But I grew up in a place called Dumont, New Jersey, blue-collar town. Mm-hmm. Went to a Catholic school where they had you always selling door-to-door, candy, cards, so I kind of learned to be a salesman in like third or fourth grade.
Right.
Had a landscaping company in fifth and sixth grade and was pretty entrepreneurial as a kid. My father was a small general contractor, my father and my mother. So summers we would work construction, so we learned how to dig holes and pour concrete and all of that. And great business, but not the most profitable business. The hardest part, frankly, of the entire food chain in real estate world is construction. It's also the least paying.
Right.
And I kind of figured that out early on because I could hear my mother at the kitchen table complaining that we weren't getting paid because then my father was giving the certificate of occupancy to the owner before he got paid. So it's like every kid in my family knew what a certificate of occupancy was in fourth grade.
Right.
It's kind of nice. And we also knew what a bounced check was. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not a normal thing for a fourth grader to know. But my mother used to have them plastered on the wall, like wallpaper.
Right.
So I had two brothers and a sister. They all went to college. I kind of wasn't college material because I was flunking everything all the time and getting thrown out of every school because I was bored. I wanted to build buildings when I was, freshman in high school. I wanted to build buildings. Mm-hmm. So basically, I came out of the box, came out of high school. I tied up my first bankruptcy. I was like 3 weeks out of high school. And built a complex called White Beach, which was one of the most successful projects, frankly, in my whole life, probably. And it was a $10 million project in early 80s. It was actually 83 I broke ground. I finished it in 85. And literally went on to build another. Well, I went from contractor to developer, and then we got fully encompassed. We were over 100 people on staff. We were ranked in the ENR 400, the Engineering News Record, top 400 contractors in America, professional builder, top 400 builders. And it was 1994 when I made a decision to sell my piece of the company to my brother. Mm-hmm. He's still doing a couple $100 million a year as a contractor and builder. And all I did was I went from being the guy that borrowed the money because I borrowed my first $100 million by 30. And personally guaranteed it all. I didn't have any money back then, so personally guaranteeing $100 million didn't mean nothing. Right. And all I did was turn the table, and I said, instead of being a guy that begs and borrows the money, I'm going to be the guy who knows how to talk to the builder or the business owner. Because when you're running a development company, construction company, you're both a business owner with all of the human resources and everything goes along with business. So we're a little bit unique. We not only finance builders, and we've done thousands of condos, tens of thousands of apartments, shopping centers, but we also do corporate loans secured by real estate. But as an owner of business, I'm able to talk to them like I know them because I am them.
Yeah.
So long story short, after 15 years as a builder, I've spent the last 25, actually this is our 25th anniversary of Procida Funding, and it's great because I get to work with some of the greatest builders and I don't have to fight with my brother anymore.
That's always great.
He's gone.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's really great. Yeah, when you first started and you mentioned that you're 58 and you've been, in the game for 40 years.
I hope I don't look 58.
not a
Okay.
day. Not
That a girl.
Yeah. But it's so intriguing to hear that really your first project was when you were 18 years old, and you've really just brought that experience to where you're at today. So
Yeah, it's special. In fact, Octavia, pass that along, right over there. You see the one, the aerial photo. No, go down one. Come on, down one more. Down one more. There you go. Yeah, I finished this when I was age 23, I think.
wow.
And it actually was the first documinium. Where's my finger go? That was the first documinium ever on the East Coast. I sold.
Yeah.
Not only did I sell the condos, but I sold the boat slips.
Wow, that is that's incredible. Absolutely. So
And by the way, I'll tell you how easy that was. I walked in to my lawyer and I said, "Can I sell boat slips?" He goes, "I don't think so." I go, "Let's call the Attorney General because that's who approves your offer plan."
Right.
I said, "I'm allowed to sell parking spaces. Why can't I sell a parking space for a boat?" And the Attorney General said, "I don't see why not." And poof.
it's a great way to think about it. So tell me a little bit about how you source deal flow. What's your acquisition strategy?
Well, a lot of ways. I mean, we've done. I've spent $2 million on TV ads. We've done print ads. We're very aggressive with email blasts and all. But I would say probably there's apparently 3,000 articles that we've been the subject of, or I've been the subject of, spanning the 40 years. So people know us, and we have tons of repeat customers. And we're not trying to be the biggest, by the way, but we'll do anywhere from 100 to 200 million every year. And we're happy with that because we still pride ourselves that I personally meet every borrower. I personally see every property. And very unusually, I meet every mayor in every town that we are in.
Right.
And there's a big reason for that because if the mayor's a bad mayor, you've got a potential for a bad project.
Yeah.
So the word of mouth is probably still the biggest thing, but there's one big thing. It's karma. You know, one thing, and now with the internet, it's great because in the '90s I could say, "Hey, I've never been sued." Well, there was no way for anybody to ever Google you, right? Now I'm the only guy that can say I have never been sued.
Yeah.
Never been go Google. I mean,
Wow.
we have the most ridiculous things people say about us. We did a $50 million renovation of a theater in Philly that won all kinds of awards, and it's half owned by a reverend. It's actually a church on Sundays, and literally the guy gave us a quote. He did an email quote for us, and it said, "I prayed to God for the money for this deal, and God sent me Billy Procida." That's about as good as you can get.
Yeah.
And by the way, we do like great groundbreakings, great ribbon cuttings.
Oh, great.
And I still, first off, I'm the receptionist. So we take anybody that walks in the door and we treat, janitors and CEOs the same way.
Yeah.
And I take every cold call, and it drives my team nuts. And now with emails, I take every cold email.
Oh, really?
Out of respect, because I was the kid in the 80s and 90s,
Right.
cold calling, can I get a meeting? Can I get a meeting? So I try to literally take every call. We return everybody's call within 24 hours.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's a combination of responsiveness, just 40 years of doing the right thing, a little bit of luck. We've won every award. We were the number one non-bank lender in America from Institutional Investor. Last 2 months ago, I was named one of the top 50 most powerful people in real estate in New Jersey.
Congrats.
I've been the New York City Developer of the Year. I was New York State Developer of the Year, New Jersey Gold Coast Man of the Year. So all of that comes together. But I think most of all, it's courtesy and respect. And we are the funnest lender to do business with.
I can tell.
And we are the only lender. We're the only lender where if your plumber goes bankrupt on you in the middle of the job, I got 10 other plumbers tomorrow. Bam.
Right. Yeah.
And that also comes with being that we only do the 100-mile radius. We know every plumber, every electrician, all the best contractors, all the best lawyers, all the specialties. So, and so just by staying in that 100-mile place where we all grew up, I mean, I got 10 people in the other room that are all Bergen County people.
Yeah.
Now the younger ones have now moved into Manhattan, but
Right.
we know everybody. It's not like we're meeting strangers. We know the neighborhoods and we know the people.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I totally understand that. My family's all from Bergen County, so I get kind of that entire mentality of building relationships and really leaning on those, and your name is what kind of carries you
That's
along.
exactly it. If you do something bad, everybody knows. If you do something good, everybody knows.
Right.
I'll
And
ask you later, how the hell did you end up on the other side of the country? But that's probably a story for later.
right. I'll fill you in on that a little bit later. But you've mentioned a little bit tri-state area, Bergen County, but can you kind of elaborate a little bit more on the markets that you operate in and why you select those specific markets, that kind of 100-mile radius?
So historically, our firm was founded in '95. So in the first 15 years, I had two prior funds that went anywhere east of the Mississippi.
Okay.
And, remember we had a project, we had two difficult projects. One in Madison, Wisconsin, which just is a pain in the ass to get to.
Yeah.
And the other was in St. Louis, which wasn't so easy to get to.
Right.
But in the Madison, Wisconsin, I had made sure I met every contractor in Madison, Wisconsin, before I committed to build this 20-story, $50 million building. So when the thing went sideways, I had my people.
Right.
And they all respected and trusted me, which is how I got through that. But the distance was wearing. And frankly, we've gotten to over 40 people, and that's a little more than I like to manage. Like right now, I have the perfect company. I got 10 people.
Yeah.
We have an open floor plan, so I can see everybody. Our third parties, like our architects, engineers, all been with us 20 years. I went to high school with our general counsel. I went to high school with our banker. So so the in the last decade, I just realized I'm smarter and more effective where I know the geography and I know the people.
Yeah.
And I would say, a lot of people want to be bigger and bigger. Everyone likes to say the word billion. I mean, we've done billions. We've done $5 billion worth of projects. But bigger is not necessarily better, particularly if you're an investor, right? You don't want your company distracted. And by the way, our approach is I go see every property every month and meet every borrower every month.
Right.
And it's hard to do that if you're national. So God bless all the people who are big. I wish I was as smart and as trusting.
Yeah.
We do have a little disease in the back of this place, which is called micromanagement.
Yeah.
The reason we have a 99.8 something % success rate, which means our clients, our borrowers, have a 99.8% success rate, is because we care, is because we're a second set of eyes.
Right.
And hard to do that nationally. So yes, we're 100 miles, which means I can get to any problem within an hour and a half.
Right. Absolutely. And, you've spoken so much about how you really meet with every single one of your clients. So can you speak a little bit on how you determine whether a deal is worth doing and kind of your investment philosophy with that?
Mantra one. You can give 3 different people the same piece of dirt.
Right.
One will turn it into shit, one will turn it into copper, and one will turn it into gold or platinum.
Yeah.
The same piece of dirt.
Right.
So make no mistake, real estate's a lot of science, but it's a lot of art. So you need, and then sometimes it's one person, but sometimes it's a team. You need the creative, you need the discipline, right? So first the person, it's not the real estate.
Yeah.
I don't lend real estate. Real estate is so affected by who touches it. So number one rule, the borrower. And that doesn't mean I can't deal with difficult borrowers or inexperienced, because I can backfill wherever they need.
Yeah.
Because I've been one of the biggest contractors, I've been one of the biggest developers, and I am supposedly, they say, one of the top lenders in the country. So I even plan I even plan their grand openings, and I play guitar. I even play. I perform at many of my clients' grand openings. Save money on the band, right? Yeah. The first thing is the borrower. Mm-hmm. The second thing is we don't ever cater to super wealthy.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So a long time ago, I learned cater to the masses, eat with the classes. Right? Cater to the classes, eat with the masses. Mm-hmm. So the high-end market fluctuates a lot. We tend to just stay blood and guts, workforce housing. We do a lot of creative stuff. We've done chemical plants, concrete plants. A lot that 90% of our competitors don't know how to underwrite or deal with that, and I happen to like that stuff. Mm-hmm. We got an oil truck repair facility that we have a loan on. They ain't never going out of business, right? Because there's always going to be oil trucks to repair, and they're frankly hard to get approved. Mm-hmm. We got 2 junkyards. Mm-hmm. Favorite investment in the world, junkyards. You can't get them approved, and we create a lot of junk. Yeah. And the third thing is we specialize in inner cities. Mm-hmm. So, I started my career. I was the biggest builder in the South Bronx and Harlem. Okay. And that's why my career went like the skyrocket. Because fact was, white guys don't like going into Black and Hispanic communities and building buildings. Mm-hmm. Either they're afraid or they just don't understand it. Mm-hmm. But there is the most opportunity. It's the best for your heart and your soul to take a crime-ridden community that's dilapidated and make it a nice place for people to be able to walk and children to be able to play. Mm-hmm. That's beyond all the money. Right. But the fact is, we're in Paterson, New Jersey, one of the probably highest crime rates in the country. Yeah. And we're going block by, just like I did in the Bronx in the 80s and Harlem 90s. We're going block by block, building by building, building new, fixing, support local charities. Support children. We're always doing charity events in those neighborhoods. I personally lecture. I personally mentor. So, that's how you risk manage, by the way. Yeah. I mean, you risk manage by getting involved, not just in the project, but in the community. So you were telling me you went to Temple. Mm-hmm. So when we went to Philly, we didn't just do one building, the Divine Lorraine, which is the famous one on North Broad. Right. But we did like 10 buildings on the same block. Mm-hmm. We got heavily involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Okay. I went to schools and lectured. We were involved with churches. So it's more than everybody makes this. They do all their business on computers. I spend 80% of my time in the field with people. Right. And one thing I had to tell to my peers, if everybody would just get off of the computer and go spend time on the projects that they're involved in. Right. 1, they'll be personally gratified. 2, they'll know what the hell's going on. And 3, if something goes wrong, they'll be able to help fix it. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, with technology being such a leader now in everyone's day-to-day, and especially social media, I think a lot of people have lost kind of that.
Here's my technology.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way. The other thing about how to do a deal, I ain't BSing you here. Right. Swear to God, all my people tell you, if the deal requires any more than this size paper to explain the deal to me, it's a waste of my time. Yeah. Every deal should fit on a Post-it. Right. So. That's great.
That's really great. And, you've kind of touched on it a little bit, but how do you really generate value once you've made an investment? Can you kind of chat a little bit more on your risk mitigation strategy?
Well, 1, we're on site literally sometimes once a week. There's there's no better risk management than that. 2, as I said, we meet the mayors, local politicians. Yeah. So you can't, that's like invaluable. Mm-hmm. Frankly, in Philly, Mayor Nutter and Daly. If I need them, I can get them on the phone. I got the deputy mayor's cell phone. I got most of the mayors. I got the mayor of Patterson's cell phone. Right. So that's like the best risk mitigation. But we do some other creative stuff here. Yeah. Like when COVID hit, we immediately took one of our asset managers and dedicated them to helping get every subsidy on earth that they could possibly get. And every program. And in fact, the Metropolitan Opera House in Philly, during COVID, we were successful in getting them a $6 million energy tax grant, which we then sold the tax credits. Yeah. Nobody does that kind of stuff. right now we're working with people that now the new PACE program is a big thing. So everybody that comes in, we handle the PACE application.
Right.
We're historic tax credit specialists and new market tax. So we do stuff for our clients that if they, like I always tell them, I say, you're getting my money for free. If anybody complains, I'm giving you free money.
Yeah.
And I really am. Because when I get you $6 million of tax benefits, that's free.
Right.
And if I charge you $3 million in interest and I got you $6 million, I not only give you $3 million, but I gave you my money for free and I made you $3 million on one deal.
Yeah.
So again, and we couldn't do this if we were doing 200 deals a year.
Right.
But we do 20 deals a year. We have about 50 deals on our books. Yeah. It allows us to be so personal to the asset. Mm-hmm. So, and then, by the way, we also do other work for other funds.
Right.
So we're available for hire. Mm-hmm. So I always explain, we have people that pay us big fees to manage their projects. Mm-hmm. So our clients, our borrowers, our developers get the benefit of my 40 years. And that has some value too sometimes. Yeah. I mean, like I'll walk in and say, did you think of this structural system? And they'll say no. And I'll go, well, let's price it out. And they go, yeah, that's cheaper.
Right.
So we're giving input on so many different things. And I don't know if I answered the question, but
no, absolutely. And kind of.
And by the way, I'm the biggest investor in our fund.
Yeah.
So we're the only fund manager, I think. I don't know of anybody. But of our $100 million fund, mm-hmm. 5 of it's mine, 5 of it's our team out there. Mm-hmm. So we're really investing our own money. When you invest in your own money, you definitely know risk management and due diligence like nothing. Yeah. And by the way, the other thing is, the day after we close, we throw everything we did out the window and we re-underwrite it again.
Yeah. That's great. And so lastly, I really would like to hear kind of who your key players are that are involved that allow you to execute your acquisition and kind of asset management strategy. I know you have a team of 10 that you've worked with for a really long time, but kind of who are those key players that you have?
There are a couple of them around in the field. Yeah. I do want to talk about them. Is there a way to get them on the screen? Or
Bring them here?
No, they're not all here. I don't want to leave them out, but I'll lump it into this.
Yeah.
In the 80s and 90s, my partners were my brother and sisters, my 2 brothers and my sister.
Right.
And they're roommates from college, right?
Okay.
In the 90s, I was partners with 3 guys from high school.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. Now they're all getting old. So today, of the 10 people, I went to grade school with 2 of their parents.
Right.
2 of them I held as babies. One's my next door neighbor for 40 years.
Yeah.
So, and it's like I'm very lucky to have the most interconnected crew. In fact, I think we have them up there.
Yeah.
In the top, I don't know if you can see, but in the top left is me and Alan Lazaroff's our CFO. Mm-hmm. He's been with me 25 years. Allie Betts is our controller and investor relations. Okay. She was my next door neighbor. Helped me raise my kids, frankly.
Yeah.
For 30 years. Mike Cohen, whose father I've known for 25 years-ish. Mm-hmm. He's vice president of investment banking.
Right.
Derek Weissman went to grade school with my daughter. He's vice president of asset management. I've known him since 8th grade.
Yeah. Brian
Foley, vice president of originations. I actually live in the house that his family grew up in.
Really?
So he's like family. Kyle Smythe knows Dad since 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Caroline Smith. She's been with us now over 5 years. She's from the neighborhood down the block from me.
Right.
Frankly, I'll tell you a funny story. She used to be my bartender for 10 years. And then every year I would see all the guys come into the bar with their tax returns, and she was filling them out for them. And I go, what do you do? She goes, I do everybody in town's tax returns. And I was like, she was very personable. I'm like, you're coming over. She's been here, fit like a glove. She's been here on her 6th year now.
Yeah.
He had the bookkeeping. Omar Khan, I know since he's a baby. He is the grandson of my first investor who gave me $400,000 when I was 19.
Right.
Mark Jacobs, who's an investor at large, is a local golf friend.
Yeah.
Max Rosenblum does asset management work with us.
Right.
And Nathaniel Johns, who is a assistant to Brian Foley in originations.
Great.
So that's the crew, and then our third parties have kind of got the same stories. You know, our general counsel I've been with since high school. We got our flooring contractor, Matty McCrudden. I've been with him since 1st grade.
Yeah.
My insurance agent upstairs was my next door neighbor in kindergarten. So he's still next to me. We lived 8 feet away from each other all through grade school, and now we're 8 feet away from each other now.
Right. Can't keep you guys apart.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It seems like you kind of keep that community mentality through your company with the partners that you work with, and really just make sure that everybody feels like family who you work with. So.
It's very familial. It's very team, but everybody holds each other accountable. It's a tough place to fit in.
Right.
Like I was explaining that when people try to come to work here, I'm like, this is like getting on a highway where everybody's doing 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And you get, once you get on, you're probably safe, but getting on the highway ain't easy here.
Right.
But
exactly.
It's a good group. I'm very lucky to have them.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Very, it was really great hearing about them. And Billy, thank you so much for chatting with us today and, telling us a little bit more about Procida Funding. And we really look forward to working together.
Yeah. You just made me think about, I think I met Matt Burke 12 years ago, and I'm trying to remember. I think I met him at a bar.
Yeah.
And we've been together ever since.
Right.
Even though you're 3,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Life's fun. Just try to smile at people, and sometimes it's just amazing how being friendly and happy can generate. Look, I think all I did one day was I met Matt. I said, "Hi, how you doing? What do you do?" Yeah. And that was it.
Right.
So
right.
That's
Absolutely.
how it happens.
Yeah.
They don't teach that stuff in college. That's why I didn't go.
Right. They absolutely don't. Yeah. Common sense and just personal.
Yeah, my mom, my dad, my grandmother taught me that just smile, have a good handshake, and you'll be okay.
Right. Absolutely.
And don't screw anybody.
Yes. That's
my grandmother. Don't you screw anybody.
Right. I love that. Well, perfect. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. And it was really great to learn more.
Peace out. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.